Hello and welcome to the Little Likac podcast. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the UK. Today is a Yarndale special episode, so it will be a little bit different from my usual podcast. I am going to start with giveaways because we ran a giveaway competition from the last podcast, so if you entered that, the giveaway prizes will be drawn for that pretty much straight away, and also the very belated Little Likac Christmas in July giveaway we will also draw for that. So I'm going to do that first. Then I've got some video footage from Yarndale where I went yesterday. Today is the 25th of September 2022. I went to Yarndale in Skipton in Yorkshire yesterday. My friend Kate and I travelled together and we met up with lovely Angie, Angela, Emma and Kelly, and also bumped into Diane and a few other people as well. So I will be showing you some footage that I took and explain some of the things that I saw there, and then at the end of the episode I will show you everything I bought, and it was quite a bit. So yes, let's crack on, shall we? So we'll start with the giveaways. Now if you remember, last week I said I was going to give away some leftovers that I had from projects that would be more than enough for somebody else to create a project from. So the first one I'm going to do is the Sirdar bamboo, and I think I had about 4 or 5 balls of this, the Sirdar just bamboo. Oh, sorry. So to enter for that, all you had to do on my last podcast was leave a comment with the word bamboo in it. So I've set up the YouTube random comment picker, and there probably won't be very many comments. Okay. Right, so there was just a few people left a comment wanting to win the bamboo. Oh, there's an advert there. And the winner is Lorraine Lockwood. Okay, so I will be sending the bamboo to you. And then the second draw that we had, giveaway we had last week, was for the Sirdar luxury cotton. So we'll put in cotton as the do the security thing. So there were more people who wanted to win the cotton. So is that Maggie? Maggie Hyde has won that one. So Maggie and Lorraine, if you get in touch with me either on Instagram, on email, littlelikac@gmail.com. If you email me on there or get in touch with me on Instagram, let me have your address, I will get those posted out to you in the next week or so. The other giveaway is the Little Likac Christmas in July. If you remember, July didn't really happen for me outside of work, and I'd set up this knit-along Little Likac Christmas in July, and then really didn't do very much with it because I was so busy. But I did say that I would give away some minis. So I went into my box of minis. These are the minis that I have dyed, and I picked out those colours which felt quite autumnal, and then I put sort of that red with it, and then actually I went with this red, this yellow and green. So I figured actually you could do something maybe potentially Christmassy with those, or something autumnal with those, and they probably could go together quite nicely. So those are the 5 minis that you can win. They're ones that I've dyed. These are normally in my pick and mix selection, or if you bought a mystery bag from me, these are the kinds of minis that you could get. So for that though, you had to put a hashtag on Instagram. You had to tag something that you were making, and I did say last week that people could still enter that, and I know a few people then did put it in. So we've got a few entries for that. Okay, let's go to random number generator. And we've got number 18. You know what? I'm hoping we've got 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yes. And that is Crafty Kate. Okay. So Kate, you have won those minis from me. Okay, so get in touch with me and I will actually I say get in touch with me, it's my friend Kate that I went to Yarndale with yesterday. So that should be easy for me to sort out getting those minis to her. But thank you to everybody who did enter. There were some lovely entries on there, and I'm so sorry. As I said before, I will not attempt to do something in July next year if I'm exam marking again, because quite clearly I cannot do the podcasting properly and exam marking and everything else in July. Okay, so those are the giveaways done. So if you came just for the giveaways, that's it. Thank you very much. Not doing a giveaway this week, but there will be one coming soon. I'm waiting to get to 600 subscribers. I really, really want to do a giveaway when I get to 600 subscribers, but I'm still on 590. I need 10 more people, so please spread the word. Let's get 10 more people, then I can do a 600 subscriber giveaway. Right, so Yarndale. As you can see, I am wearing my Yarndale jumper or sweater. So I got it finished in time. If you want all the details on this, I'll put up the card and you can see in previous podcasts. But yes, I got it finished. So you will see, I'm modelling it for you now, but you will see quite a lot of footage in the video of me wearing this sweater, so you'll be able to see it all properly. I was wearing it with a dress. I had lots of compliments on it, and the weather was absolutely perfect for it actually. At no point was I too hot, and at no point did I get cold either. When other people began to get a bit chilly, I felt absolutely fine. So smug. I was really worried that it was going to be too warm, because we'd still been having some lovely weather in September, and it wasn't a cold day, but it was just perfect for a single layer of 100% merino sweater like this. So yes, all the details about that are on previous podcasts and in the description box and in the card that I've put up. So yeah, so enjoy my little Yarndale video and come back at the end, all right, when I finish the Yarndale footage, because then I will show you what I bought. Good morning everybody, it's just before 7:30 and I'm waiting for Kate at Derby train station. We are on our way to Yarndale this morning, very excited, here very early. Our train's not for another 20 minutes, but yeah, hopefully I'm going to be showing you around the show today and looking at all the yarny goodness. Sorry about it being a bit noisy, obviously outside the station, a bit of traffic around. See you in a bit. So look who's just got here. Say hello to everyone, Kate.
Hello!
Right, we're both here nice and early, ready to get the train. See you at Yarndale. So the first place we went to was Rosie's Moments. I really wanted to get one of her mystery bags, and at the later in the video you'll be able to see what I got in my mystery bag. Kate got one as well.
That one's a square box. It's got things in the box.
Then we went to the Knitting Goddess. She's actually one of the first hand dyers I ever bought from at a show that I went to probably about 10 years ago in Coventry, and she remembered that show as well. So she has lots of bags as well as yarn. Then we went to Corner of Craft, and they're actually near me in Nottingham, and they had beautiful, beautiful sparkly yarns. And this is where I got my second purchase from in the bargain bucket, those beautiful purple sparkly yarns, which I'll show you at the end of the video. This is Woolly Mama, who has the most beautiful bright yarns. Bought from her before at Yorkshire Yarn Show. My daughter's bought from there as well. So brightness is definitely her thing. So this is a wall of absolutely beautiful natural dyed yarn. I think it's allium threads. Unfortunately, I can't seem to see a name actually on the yarn, but having done a little bit of quick looking through the catalogue, I think it is allium. And you can see they've got absolutely beautiful colours through natural dyeing, which is quite unusual, I think. And then this is the Dye Shack, and I really loved that throw, which is an Amber design, Amber O'Brien design. I'm thinking that could be a beautiful throw for an advent set, so that's why I made a note of that. And they also had mystery packs as well at the Dye Shack. These lovely vibrant colours here, just beautiful. This stand was Pearl and Jane, which featured designs by Jane Ellison. She's local to Yarndale. She's based in Skipton, so there was lots of patterns and some kits there as well for her designs. And she also had some yarn on sale. So this was some lovely tweed yarn that I was looking at. You can see that was quite popular. Really pretty colours. Susan Crawford is a designer who specialises in vintage style, so quite a lot stranded and Fair Isle, and she had kits available. I think the yarn is her own yarn as well, so there was lots of patterns and kits and yarn available on her stall. Some lovely colours, sort of quite autumnally colours there, and I say Fair Isle and stranded designs. Giddy Aunt Yarns is another popular indie dyer that a lot of people have heard of. I think Kate was eyeing up the very bright neons and considering that for her Stephen West shawl. Then we moved on to Janie Crow, who is the stand was a crochet stand with lots of packs for these incredible blankets. So lots of yarn packs that you could get for each blanket. The Wool Shed is based in Cheshire, and she has absolutely gorgeous colours. Really liked looking at those, all the variegations, speckles and really bright colours, absolutely beautiful. I'm really sad to say I can't actually remember whose stand this is, but I loved all the Fair Isle on it, and then just look at these socks that she's got down here, these sheep socks and the shepherd socks. They were the ones that I particularly liked, but I can't remember the name of the stand. I'm really sorry. This company are called Sardines for Tea, and they had these amazing kits of all these lovely animals, and they're all designed by this company, and I've never seen anything quite like this with all of these kits. They were just really good fun. Loved those. You'll see more of that band later. This is the beautiful Skein and Stitch yarns, and I particularly liked all the purples that were on that wall. And then this stand had the most beautiful bags. These were next to Jess's Skein and Stitch stand. And this one had these lovely bags that was very comfortable. So it was sideways this weekend. I didn't like it. A complete work of art. This display was by the Hawes Yarn Bombers, and they were collecting money for charity. But I honestly, look at the size of those Shrek figures. They were amazing. So I'm really enjoying colour work at the moment, and I really liked this stall, which had all these tiny little minis that you could get by just individually in the different colours. And then I had to go down to the Marie Wallin stall as well. Love her designs. Loved her when she designed for Rowan, but unfortunately I feel like her designs currently are all a little bit too boxy for me, but they are just beautiful to look at and admire and to take inspiration from. So when I do my own colour work cowl and scarf that I'm planning on working on, these are the kinds of things perhaps I'll have in mind when I'm creating my own colours, but just gorgeous inspiration. This was quite an unusual stand because it was all second-hand and vintage knitting patterns, knitting books, and they also had some buttons and pins as well. Kate got a pin badge from here. So that was quite unusual to see something like this and quite interesting to look at. Truly Hooked is run by and owned by Verity. This is a yarn company that is local to me in Nottingham, and I've bought from Verity before at shows. She has lovely yarns, and she always has a really good bargain bucket, which I did get a bargain from. There's Verity. Say hi, Verity. allowed to stroke that side apparently. So we came outside to have a cup of coffee, and the band were out here playing and doing a little dance as well. So we had to record that while we admired the band. They were really good fun actually, really helped add to the atmosphere. They were around all afternoon. Ducky Darlings is run by Hayley. She's from Derbyshire, and I first came across her yarns a couple of years ago in a shop. I've seen her at quite a few shows, I've met her in person. She was very camera shy, but I think I just about managed to get her to wave at the end. There's Hayley. Say hi, Hayley. Gotta get into it. Got no nails. Oh, it's got purple on it. Oh, that's pretty. Stitch marker in it. Marker. Like that pin. Sewing kit. Loads in here. Tissues. Lip balm. Ah, little labels knitted with love. Some random napkins with patterns on. Oh. Bulbs. Still loads to go. Coconut body butter. Another pack of random napkins. Pencil. Handmade with love little labels.
There we are.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm just going to get rid of your starter cut really fast, alright?
Sorry.
That for you.
Lunch bag. I'll edit it. And that's it. Oh, no, and a pen. So the only yarn is that one. Oh, pretty. Very nice. Yeah, that'll do. So, I'm sure you can see, that was only a small part. I did not video every stall I went to. I did not video the stores that I bought, everything I bought from. There was just so much to see, and my camera, my phone battery was dying, so by the end I had to be really selective on what I videoed, because by the time I was texting my husband to come and pick me up from the station, I'd got less than 5, I think I've got 5% charge left on my battery, so I couldn't film everything. Plus I kept forgetting to film because I was like a big kid. I was just so excited. I mean, I like yarn shows. I had not been to Yarndale before. It is one of the biggest in the country, to be fair. There was about 200 vendors, and when I've looked up other shows, apart from maybe the Wool Monty, which is about a similar size, I couldn't see any other yarn show in the UK that was bigger, really. So yeah, it's one of the biggest yarn shows in the UK. I was meeting up with friends, Kelly and Angie and Angela, who I've met before, and Emma as well. Lovely to meet up with them. I knew I was going to see some dyers that I kind of know, like Hayley, hi Hayley from Ducky Darlings, and Verity from Truly Hooked, so it's just kind of nice to see some familiar faces. Plus I've done a yarn show once myself before, so there were a few vendors I had met previously through doing a yarn show, so I don't know if they remembered me or not, but I went and said hello to a few of them, and you know, they were very polite and said hello to me as if they knew me. I had a couple of people come up and say hello, so hi Heather, hi Jules, I'm trying to think who else came up and said thank you. If you watch the podcast, and a few of you, as I say, came and said hello, which was just so lovely. It's just so weird when you do a podcast and you kind of see that you've got people watching it, but it doesn't really seem real that somebody's watching it until somebody comes and says hello. So that was so lovely. And hopefully Heather and I took a picture of it, and I messaged Heather to ask her if it's okay if I show that picture. So if I haven't heard back from her by the time I edit the video, I won't put the picture in. But if I heard back from her and it's okay, hopefully I will have put the picture of Heather in as well. So what did I buy? This is not the order I bought it in. I'm going to do it in the order that I've stacked everything up next to me in. And so the first thing that I've got to show you is the yarn that I bought from the Skipies stand. So I specifically wanted to get this. I had already got some Skipies terrazzo yarn that I bought from a shop with Mandy from Mouse's Makes at the end of August, and I had bought some with the plan of making a colourwork cowl, and not a cowl, actually a scarf, and because I want to do a really long scarf and knit it in the round, I wasn't sure if I had got enough yarn, so I bought 2 more balls of terrazzo in the colours that I had already got. So I'd already got 1 ball of each of these, and I knew that I kind of wanted these to be the main colours in my colourwork scarf. So this is colour 728 and 727. So I bought more of 1 more ball each of those. Plus I said last podcast that I was reading a colourwork book. Oh bother, and I meant to make a note of what that was called because a couple of people asked me about it. Hopefully I will insert a picture here and put the details up of that book. But one of the things it said was, you know, choosing colours that go together nicely, but also having a few random colours that you kind of more vivid colours that you just put in tiny amounts of. So as well as getting these to go with for my colourwork, I then picked up these 3, which are kind of much brighter, that hopefully I will use just for these odd little splashes of these extra colours. So I got these, which is 739 Oceano, 755 Chiano, or Chiano, back to the pronunciations again, and 721 Lampone or Lamponi. So I've got those to be my bright contrast colours that I use. I'm really, really excited to cast this on. I'm not following a pattern, it's something I'm going to be making up. I've been doing quite a lot of colourwork recently, so I'm really excited to get that cast on soon. There's 2 projects I want to finish before I cast that on. I'm not going to show you my works in progress, my current works in progress, unless it's got linked to Yarndale. I will do that next week in the next podcast. So the Skipies stand, they were doing a deal on one of their yarns that if you bought 5 balls you got a free tote bag, but it wasn't that yarn. But I cheekily said to the lady as she was serving me, I said, oh, do I get a free tote bag because I've bought 5 balls? And she went, oh no, it's not that yarn. I went, oh right. And then she quickly grabbed one and put it in anyway for me. So how cute is that? So I got the free tote bag because we all love a tote bag. So that was one of my purchases. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, Verity, who runs Truly Hooked Yarns. She's an amazing dyer and her stand is always just fab to see. So there was some footage of her stand, probably just a very small section of it. I tried not to stand and just pan big sections of the show, because when I've seen other people do that, I think sometimes it's actually really hard to focus, and my phone cameras don't work very well with that, so instead I tried to record much smaller areas. I hope that worked okay. Everybody knows I love a bargain bucket, or if you watch this podcast you know I love a bargain bucket, and Verity always does. And what's going on with my hair? What is going on? So I've had it in a ponytail. Anyway, Verity does amazing bargain buckets. If you ever go to a yarn show where Truly Hooked is, go and look at her stand anyway, because she's got beautiful stuff. But do check out her bargain bucket, because she always has some good things in there. And she doesn't just put single scales in, she also puts in 2 or 3 skeins of the same thing, which is brilliant. So Kate, who is such an enabler, by the way, Kate, I hope you realise this, you are an enabler, but then I probably enable you, and I enabled Kelly as well, so okay, anyway, so Kate picked out one of these, and I was like, oh, that is pretty, I like that. And then we saw that there was a second and a third. Now they aren't exactly matchy. They are, that one you can see has got bigger flashes of pale. I mean, it might be when I open them up, we see. That one looks to be darker, so if I use this all in the same project, which obviously I'm going to intend to, I will definitely be alternating. They are just a one of a kind, they haven't got a name, it's not a colourway that she dyes regularly. But they are very much my colours. It's a pinky purple, it's really pretty. I've got 3 skeins, I can definitely do something with that. If I wanted to, I could put a 4th skein in a contrasting one if I wanted to I don't know, do some colour work or the ribbon or something like that if I really needed to stretch it out. So it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams. All 3 of these were in her bargain bucket, so I paid £35 for the 3 skeins, which is very good, isn't it? Very good. Just beautiful colour. Very me. No idea what I'm going to do with it yet. Can't even say I've got plans for it. Don't think it's going to be anything that will be cast on in the next 6 months even, but there we go. It's lovely. Couldn't say no. Thank you, Kate, for pointing it out. Alright, what else? So you'll see as well, so that was not a planned purchase. The terrazzo yarn was a planned purchase, that one wasn't. However, the next one that I'm going to show you was a planned purchase. You'll have seen in the video Stitches Tees, and you'll see the one that I bought. So this was planned. I absolutely wanted to get a t-shirt from there. I thought I was going to get the one which said knitter across the front, but then when I saw the ones that said Yarnivore, there was Yarnicorns and Yarnivore. I actually really quite like the Yarnivore one. So I tried on the large in the unisex, and it was a little bit snug. It fitted fine, but I wanted something a little bit baggier, so I went with the extra large. So, excuse me. So I got this t-shirt. So this is from Stitches Tees, and I've seen them on Instagram. I've seen their t-shirts and things. I knew I wanted to get one, and I thought buying it in person would be better, because then I could try them on if need be, or look at the sizes. So really pleased with that. Again, if you follow my podcast and you've heard me speak, you'll know that I don't really buy new clothes. It's very, very rare for me to buy any brand new clothes. So if I do buy something brand new, it has to be because there's something special about it or unique about it. So, Yarnivore. That's great. I might be wearing that next time you see the next podcast. Probably, if I'm really honest, it's probably not something that I'm going to wear out and about very much. It's probably more going to be just used for slobbering around the house. But I love it. Or maybe podcasting. So that was a planned purchase. What should I show you next? Now the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the first thing that pretty much the first thing I saw. No, it wasn't the first thing I bought. Second thing I bought. Second thing I bought, I think. And again, bargain bucket. And there's, I think it's Cookston Crafts. Corner of Craft. It wasn't a dyer I knew. Corner of Craft, and their yarn is called Chromatic Yarns. And there was a lot of Lurex that you will have seen in the video as well. There was a lot of, so I dye sparkly yarn, but the yarn I use has stellina in it, which I would say is a slightly more subtle sparkle. Lurex is a little bit more in your face. And you know how I love purple, so we were walking past this stall and there was all this sparkly Lurex yarn, and then in their bargain bucket I spotted that, and then when I went and had a closer look, I spotted that. There were 2 skeins of it. Look at it, just look at it. Sparkly and purple and really soft. So it's called, I think it's called the DM's wife, but I don't know who DM is, because it says something about them being nerdy yarns or something. Nerdy yarn, hand dyed in Nottingham, so it's another one that's local to me because I'm in Derby, but I can't work out who the DM is, if it's the DM's wife. Don't know, not that nerdy obviously. I know some sci-fi stuff and things, but I don't know, so if you know who that is or what that refers to, please let me know, because I don't know. All I know is it's purple, it's super sparkly, and it's mine now. I was not letting that go. I have no idea what I'm going to make with it. Thinking maybe something Christmassy, so I'd probably need to put some other yarn with it, maybe something not so sparkly. Oh, maybe I could do something where this is kind of like purple sparkly snowflakes all over. Pretty. So that was an unplanned purchase, was in their bargain bucket. I'm going to be honest and say it wasn't as much of a bargain as the Truly Hooked, but it was still it was still reduced, and I'm definitely going to use it for something. So pretty. Okay, next one, boring purchase, but needed to be done. I needed some more Eucalan, and it got this at a pretty good price, £12 for a 500g bottle, which is pretty good. I use this when I wash my own woolly clothes, but I also use it when I'm dyeing as well and I'm rinsing the yarn. I actually went with an unscented one this time, because I usually use one that's very lightly scented, but I'm thinking, you know, when I'm selling my yarn, allergies, scents, things like that, it's probably better to go with the unscented. So that's a fairly boring purchase, but I do recommend Eucalan or soak, you know, that you do use a wool specific detergent when you wash your wool clothing, if you hand wash them. So that's a fairly boring purchase. And I haven't brought this down with me to the office. I also bought some more dye for dyeing, because I use Colourcraft dyes, and they had a whole stand there, so it was really nice actually, because I was chatting to the man. And again, I did not know that this was a relatively local company. They're based in Sheffield, and they apparently have been making these dyes since the 1970s, and it looks like they're like a really sort of like small family run business, because I think it was a husband and wife team there on the stand, and it's their business. And I asked the woman a couple of technical questions, and she said, oh, you need to speak to him about that, because he's the one who makes all the dyes. It's like, he's the one who makes all the dyes and he's here. So that was just really nice actually as a dyer to have a chat with somebody and ask some questions, some technical questions and things. So that was quite cool. But you know, you don't want to see plastic pots of dyes that you can't even see the dyes inside. So, okay, so another planned purchase. I knew that I was going to buy a Rosie's Moments mystery bag because they're just so much fun. And you will have seen on the video, there will be the video of me opening the mystery bag, and it had all kinds of random stuff in, which, you know, so it did have a lot of random stuff in. However, it did have some particularly useful things from a knitter point of view. This tin is lovely, and it's actually an Emma Ball tin, and if you know Emma Ball designs, she designs a lot of stuff for knitting. It did have a stitch marker in it. The stitch marker is now on something. So I had a lovely tin, which is useful. I'm just thinking actually, I had lip salver. Do that now. But let me just show you again the yarn, because let's face it, that was the most important thing. So the Rosie's Moments mystery bag are £15, and you get everything that you saw in that in the video. But here is the yarn. Interestingly, Kate got the same yarn. Well, Kate's yarn had a different colourway, but it was pretty much the same. Actually, these are really quite my colours, aren't they? We've got purples and blues, and it's very pretty. You see, I can't work out, it looks like it says lilas or lilac, but I swear the last time I had a Rosie's Moment mystery bag, I had the same, it said the same colourway, but it was a different colour to this, so who knows? I don't know, maybe I'm going mad. But so yes, so that is really pretty, really soft actually, really soft. It says it's 75-25, but that does feel very soft. It feels more like 80-20 to me, but who knows? Well, I guess she knows. So yeah, that was a planned purchase. And then we went to Vicky Brown's. Vicky Brown is a dyer who really specialises in minis. She has a Minis Mystery Club subscription box, which I've considered a few times, but she had some mystery bags, and it was 150 grams of minis for £25. And I love minis, and I've got quite a few different mini blankets on the go, and I thought I can definitely use those. Excuse the crinkling. And so again, I think this should be in the video that I've just put together, or haven't put together yet, but will by the time you watch this. And so I got all of these, and they are colours that I really like. That will go in my muted pastel-y. It doesn't look very pastel on here. It's not quite as bright as it's showing on camera. So that will go in my granny stripe blanket, and that probably will as well. And that will go in the granny stripe blanket, because those are all kind of more pastel-y, muty colours. Muted. Oh, that will as well. That will probably go in my granny stripe. But then that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I think all of those will go in the granny stripe, and then that will probably just go straight in the Battenberg blanket. These will either go in the rainbow one I'm doing, the triangulum, or just straight into Battenberg. So they will all get used in blankets that I'm working on. So really lovely minis from Vicky Brown. Okay, something else I definitely knew I wanted to look for anyway was a bag. I wanted a bag that you can kind of hook onto your wrist and knit from, and the yarn can come out quite easily. I haven't explained that very well. So sometimes they're called Japanese knot bags, and there are other slightly different designs to that, but that was what kind of thing I wanted. And as you saw in the footage, there were some alpacas at the show, and I went and petted the alpacas, and I've really got a soft spot for alpacas. And so Kate and I, it was towards the end of the afternoon, I said I still haven't got a bag. Did see some beautiful bags that I've probably talked about in the video, but one, they didn't have the handle that I wanted, and two, they were on the more expensive side. They weren't expensive for what they were beautiful, but considering I had a specific type of bag that I wanted in mind, it didn't fit the bill. So we went back, and I got this from Joe Sew Knits, I think they were. And look, it's got alpacas on, and then what you do, it is called a Japanese knot bag. You slide that through there, which holds it together, but then you can have that on your arm and be knitting while you're walking around or carrying it around. And inside here, I've also got, I bought some needles. Again, these were a planned purchase because I knew I wanted to cast on a hat, which I have since cast on, so I'll show you that in a minute. So I wanted some fixed circular needles on 40cm cable. Well, it was 40 centimetres in total with like the short tips. So I got two pairs of one 3.75, one 4mm, because I needed those, excuse me, for a colourwork hat that I wanted to start. I was hoping to get some Chalgu, but the only Chalgu needles I saw all through the show were metal tips, and I do prefer wooden tips. So there was a stand called Knitting for Fun, and they were just all Knit Pro. They just had all Knit Pro Zing. I think, in fact, actually, if you Google Knit Pro needles in the UK, I think it takes you to the Knitting for Fun website. I think they are basically the suppliers of Knit Pro in this country. So yeah, so I went with what I knew because I couldn't find Chowgu with wooden tips. I could only find metal tips. Yeah, so I've got those. And so then when I got home last night, I did cast this hat on. Now this hat, I actually bought this kit when we went to Yorkshire Yarn Fest in June, and I showed it then. And Jackie, the designer, she was at Yarndale yesterday, so I did pop and say hello to her. So I will show you this cast on, partly because it's using the needles that I got, and also that this was the stitch marker that was in my Rosie's Moment bag, which I think is another Emma Ball stitch marker, whether it's or another Emma Ball design. So I started, because as I said to you before, I'm really loving my colour work at the moment. So I've started this hat. I am going to be honest and say that the pattern isn't terribly clearly written. I know what to do, I understand it, although there's a couple of parts where I'm having to do a little bit of guessing, and I would say it's definitely not beginner friendly, but if you know what you're doing with colour work, it's fine, and if you know what you're doing with making a hat, it's fine. But if either hat making or colour work was new to you, I don't know that it would be a particularly great pattern. However, the design is lovely and it is knitting up beautifully. So the kit I had already bought, but those needles and this cute little bag were new, and got those yesterday. So yeah, the needles were from Knitting for Fun, and the bag So Jo Knits or Jo Knit Sews? Jo Knit Sews. I will, when I edit it, I will have looked it up and double checked that. So the bag was planned purchase and the needles were both planned purchases. So, you know, so far there was only 2 purchases that were unplanned, which were the bargain bucket ones. Okay, and then it looks like I've only got one last thing to show you, which must be right. Yeah. So I knew, although I only found this out recently, I found out recently that West Yorkshire Spinners do a special Yarndale colourway every year, and I did not know that. Or they've done it for the last 5 years, I believe. And they name those colourways after the names of sheep. Not breeds of sheep, but specific sheep that are at Yarndale. This year it was Tristan, and they had a stand selling Yarndale tote bags and this year's colourway, but they also had all the previous year's colourways. And because I'd never bought one before, I thought, oh, I need to buy one of these. I was planning on buying this year's Tristan, but actually out of the 5 or 6 that were there, it wasn't my favourite. So instead I thought, right, well, I'll buy 1 or 2 of the ones that I really like. So I bought Barbara, because I really liked that one, because you can see them knitted up, they've got socks, so I really liked Barbara. So I bought a ball of Barbara, and then I bought a ball of Nigel, and I cast on Nigel on the train on the way home. So I've already started using Nigel, because I decided that was more autumnal. So Nigel got cast on last night on the train, using another set of needles that I bought, because I seem to have run out of 2.25mm DPNs anyway, because I've got a few pairs of socks cast on. And so yeah, so I cast these on the train. My friend Kate said to me, you've left a very long tail there, and I said, well yes, because I do that deliberately, because I like to start it, cast it on at a change, so that I can have like just the very top of the rib in that colour. So that was the green, and it's easier to match as well then for the next, for the second sock. So I love the way that's striping up already. So yeah, knitted that on the train between, I think I cast them on at Skipton. No, we had our dinner between Skipton and Leeds, and then I think I cast these on, and then we got the train from Leeds to Derby, so I did most of that. I'll probably do about 15 rounds of rib. I'm not sure how many I've got there, maybe about 10. And then I bought, well, if you bought a ball of the West Yorkshire Spinner, you could get this bag as well, not for free. Nothing was for free. There was no freebies at all. No, the only freebie was that if you bought anything from the Yarndale shop, you got that badge for free. But that badge is their 10th anniversary. That was the that's Tristan sheep. But that, I'll sure which one that one is, but I loved, that was the one I chose anyway, because again there were different designs. So I chose him because he's cute. So yes, that could even be Nigel. Could be Nigel. So that is it for my purchases. I was going to say this hasn't been very long, but of course it has been, because you've got the whole video section of Yarndale in here as well. Oh, this is my last little thing. My little wristband. My little wristband to show I was there. I had a brilliant time, in case you can't tell. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a really fun day, and we were lucky. We arrived and got in at about 10:20, and we didn't leave till 5 o'clock, and I was not bored, and the day just flew by. And we didn't even get a chance really. Well, we sat and had coffee for maybe about half an hour, coffee and cake, but and we had lunch again, maybe 20-30 minutes we sat and had lunch, but the rest of the time we were just walking around the stands, talking to people. Oh, it's just really, really lovely. So yeah, again, if I saw you at Yarndale, you know, it was lovely to see you. It was just so nice to speak to people, and speak to people who are as mad about this hobby as I am, and it was just brilliant. So next podcast will be a usual one. I have got stuff to show you. Other than this is the only finished object, but I've got lots of work done on Eloise's colourwork jumper. That will probably be finished next time I see podcast. Have I cast on? I haven't done anything more on the mittens. Cast on that hat. I'm sure there's something else I've cast on as well since then. But yeah, I will have quite a lot to show. Oh yeah, some other another purchase that has arrived as well, but I'm not going to show you that today because it's nothing to do with Yarndale, and it's been all about Yarndale today. So see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Bye for now.